Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, well, 2-2. Could have been worse, could have been better. I mean, we've already won the title, so I'm not going to be here complaining about our atrocious defense. But all I'll say is, Lewandowski has the joint record. Okay, cool. I've made no secret at all about how I feel about records. I don't care about personal records. Never have, probably never will, if I'm being completely honest. Because personal records are meaningless, they're pointless. But for him, I'm happy. Because the thing that I like is that since he's become more of a team player, which he hasn't been until last season. Last season, he started becoming a team player, and you know what? He's been doing a lot better. What a surprise. Once you play for the team and not just yourself, you suddenly are better. Who would have thought that? So I'm happy about Lewandowski. I'm happy that he's now the joint record with Gerd Müller. Both absolutely, obviously incredible, fantastic, amazing strikers. It's just a shame that he got injured. That's what I'm going to say. Just a shame that he got injured. But you all know how I feel. I don't care about personal records, if I'm being completely honest. But because that's the big story of this match today, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, despite the fact that I'm going to be completely honest. If he breaks it, if he gets that one goal and is the a lone record holder or not, I really don't care. I really don't care. People are like, how can he not care? Lewandowski, he's had such a fantastic season, so many goals, so on and so forth. It's because I hate strikers. I don't really hate strikers, but I hate the attention that strikers get. All right, there are so many positions in football, from goalkeepers to defenders, centre backs, and fullbacks, to midfielders that come in all kind of varieties, to wingers, to attackers, so on and so forth. And the only position that gets any sort of praise, that gets any sort of focus, is the attackers, or in very rare cases, it's the midfielders. But it's never the defenders, it's never the goalkeepers. And we've had the best goalkeeper, we have, actually not had, he didn't play today, so that's why I thought had, but we have the best goalkeeper of all time. But nobody says anything, because, well, it's a goalkeeper, who cares? We've had, in my opinion, personally, the best right back of all time. Nobody cares at all, because, well, he's a fullback. So that's why I'm just like, I've always had a negative bias against attackers. Probably because when I played football, I played all positions, including attackers, because I was kind of like the captain. And if you've ever played football for a club as a kid, not nowadays, like if I were to play football now, which I'm actually trying to get back into a football team, but if I were to play football now, there's kind of this expectancy that like people show up. When you're a kid, that's not the case. People will show, like people that you've played with that are in the same club for like years and years, they'll show up 1 week and then you won't see them for a month, and then suddenly they'll be back and you're like, hi, I'm back. So like that's why, as the captain, which I was, you kind of just like slot everywhere because you're the captain. So like you're playing all the positions. Whenever someone is not coming, whenever someone's not turning up for a game, it's like, okay, you gotta fill in for that position. So I kind of played everywhere, but my favorite positions were definitely in defense because you just have a bigger role, in my opinion, just a bigger duty. Because as an attacker, you can basically just do whatever, have a bad performance, and as long as someone scores a goal, it's all fine. As a defense, you're kind of part of the whole system. You're part of the whole unit, which is why I prefer things like that. Like midfield, I definitely understand why people love midfield. Very fun role. You control the whole flow of the game. You don't control the game, you control the tempo and the flow of the game. Attackers, I feel like you're not doing much, honestly. You're doing the flashy things, yes, okay, but you're not doing much. Like, if you've seen my, I don't do them that often, but I'm trying to do them more, but not this season, obviously. But like, if you've ever seen any of my live streams in the past of watching games, the things that I celebrate the most, yes, I celebrate goals a lot. Now we're totally deviating from the actual point of this video, but oh well. I celebrate goals a lot because that kind of just eases off the pressure. But I celebrate tackles, saves, good plays just as much as the goals, which is kind of why I love football so much. I don't love it because, granted, we are a team that scores a lot of goals, regardless of who the manager is. We always score a lot of goals, so that really doesn't apply to Bayern. Because we score so many goals, so you could say, well, no wonder you don't like that goals that many, because we score so many. You kind of lost that feeling, but it's not that. I just enjoy football. I don't just enjoy the goals. I don't just enjoy the flashy parts. Even if it's a bad game per se, I enjoy football, which is why I watch it, which is why I don't miss games, which is why I'll often watch third league teams. There's not good football, but it's just enjoyable phases. So and that's kind of the whole point of it. Anyway, talking about this game. Now that we've talked about records, goals, why I've got a personal bias, I guess, against strikers. I don't. Right? I don't. I recognize how good Lewandowski is. I don't think last season. I don't think he was the. Last season, I thought he was. I always go back and forth with this. Last season, I thought he was the best player. This season, I don't. It was just funny considering that last season he, he didn't score as many goals as he does this season. But I think he was better last season. The thing that for me personally, the thing that really helped him this season is that, like, even when he's played bad, which there's been like 3 or 4 months where he's played bad at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, there was about a 2-3 month spell where he played relatively bad, but even in those bad spells he still scores. And some may say, well, how can a striker play bad but still score goals? That's just contradictory, because their job is to score goals. No. Okay, people need to stop. I need to stop as well, because I'm making comments, I'm making topics up for people, but just it's a bad thing that I do, because I always like to counter points, but like when I'm making my own points and I'm countering them themselves, like, who are you talking to? I've got like a 5D chess, like as if I'm like, playing chess against myself. I've got like a 5D visualization of like, okay, I'm gonna say this, but what if someone says this? But so I'm gonna say that. But what if someone says this? Yeah, it's kind of like back and forth inside my own head, which is just not a good thing to do. But I guess it gives you an insight into my head, I guess. Woo. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the game itself, I'm not going to complain about it too much. We've already won the league. We've had a lot worse performances when we won the league. Is Lewandowski going to break the record? I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think, if anything, the thing at the end of the game kind of showed you, not end of the game, like the 60th minute or so, really showed you the game. It showed you how desperate. He keeps saying, "Oh no, I don't care about the record. It's not that important to me." That's why you had the Gerd Müller shirt on. That's to call back to Gerd Müller, and that's why you were so desperately. That's why your team was so desperately trying to look out for you every time they got the ball. That was actually quite annoying, I must admit. And that was the annoying part, because there were so many better positions. There were so many better places that we could have played the ball in. Like if someone was completely free in the box, it's like, nah, we're not passing him to him. We're giving it to Lewandowski. I'm like, bro, I know you all want him to get the record, but come on. Seriously, there are better ways to go about it. Like, if you play your football normally, if you play your football at the same level as you always do, he's bound to score, alright? So stop trying to force it. It wasn't just the team, it was Lewandowski himself too, and that's the one thing that annoys me. So I either want him to get the record in the next game, or I don't. Either or, wow, amazing. But at either or, I don't really care. Just don't force it. Like, either give him the goal early on so we can actually play a normal game, or don't get it. And then next season we can go again. That kind of thing. Like, to me, it's whatever. Personally, it's whatever. This season also has been a bit of a letdown, if I'm being completely honest. Not because we, got knocked out of the Champions League, and not because we got knocked out of the DFB Pokal, but I would consider relatively early. Not like really early, but like relatively early. Against opponents that were easily beatable, both of them in the Cup and the Champions League as well. But it was more so disappointing because I didn't feel we played good football. And usually, like, I can forgive easily. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me too much. Like, if we go out of cups relatively early, as long as we played well. And I have to say, against PSG, I thought we played well. Against Turin, I did not think we played well. I don't think anybody thought we played well. But it's always the snowy games, that we struggle in. I can't stand that part. Snow is my favorite. Besides rain, snow is definitely number one. Rain would be number two. In terms of my favorite weather conditions. Maybe because I like snow because I'm a child of the snow. Ooh, yeah, because I was born in winter. So maybe that's why I naturally gravitate towards snow. I don't know. Ooh, rhyming as well. Man, aren't I clever today? But yeah, this season snow was not a good sight at all. Not a good sight. The first leg against PSG was snowing. Well, we got not even destroyed, but we got beat. Then against Turin, we got kicked out. Oh well, it'd be like that sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. It'd be like that. In terms of special shoutouts for this game in particular, Newell played. Very good game. I know you conceded 2 goals, but overall, I have to say, very good game. Did some fantastic saves. I quite like what I saw. I mean, there wasn't anybody that I thought really stood out negatively. Funny enough, like Leroy Sané, first half, I didn't even realize he was playing. Like I didn't realize he was playing until like he kicked the ball out of play, and then I was like, oh yeah, Leroy Sané is playing. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about you. My goodness. And then like the second half comes around, it's like, whoa, like he just flipped the switch. He just flipped the switch. Like first half he was invisible. Second half he was our main player. He was our main forward, right? I'm like, whoa, where did this just come from? I like it a lot. So that just shows you the it also shows you the frustrating part about Leroy Sané. That like he's got all this talent. I feel like he dribbles a little bit too much of him, being completely honest. But we'll talk about the individual players at the end of the season a lot more in depth. Like I'm gonna make a video of each player and how they can go forward improving. I like the more analytical videos. I know they don't do nearly they don't do nearly as well in terms of like engagement. But I like doing them a lot more than. It's why you don't see me talk that much. I don't really make that many videos anymore because the analytical things I can't do on YouTube because it just gets taken down. Thank you, Bundesliga. Thank you for always taking critical analysis down. When I'm trying to analyze how we're playing, I upload it to YouTube, and by the time I can press publish, this video has been blocked on copyright grounds. But look, I like analytical things a lot more than just rambling on, but it's not really that possible. But in terms of players, I can very much do that, so that's a very cool thing that I'll be able to do. Yeah, I mean, besides that, it wasn't. Tolisso came back, nice. Roja got a few minutes, nice. Both of them I really can see do well under Nagelsmann. I don't know if we're going to sell Tolisso or not. Obviously, there's been a big, massive rumours that we're going to sell Tolisso. He came back quick. Like, just from training, and suddenly he's back in the squad. Like, whoa, how did you just come from? Like, where did you just come from, bro? But I like seeing that. I think Roja's going to have a great season next season. I thought he was going to have a good season this season. Flick said no. But, like, Flick said no. In defence, we all were like, oh, Lucas Hernandez needs to play. He's our best centre-back. And Flick was like, nope, Alaba is playing. And in midfield, when Goretzka is injured, Tolisso is out, you're like, okay, Roja has to play now. Flick was like, Alaba is moving into midfield. So, a little bit unfortunate for Roja. But we'll see. Whether we'll get another midfielder or not, I'm not 100% sure. I think it all depends on Tolisso. If we're going to sell Tolisso, I think we're definitely going to get another midfielder. If not, I could actually see us keep the same squad. And I don't think the same squad is necessarily that bad. We'll obviously talk about Nagelsmann in a lot more depth, how he could possibly play, how he could possibly set up. I think I know people will say, well, we don't have a right wing back. I would actually disagree. We'll say that. We'll save that for another time, ladies and gentlemen. We'll save that for another time in the summer, although we do have the Euros. Also, I'm gonna run this by here. I'm planning on starting another YouTube channel. Another YouTube channel. My goodness, I've got like 7 YouTube channels. And for those that don't know, I've got 7 different YouTube channels, all for completely different things, all anywhere from like 100,000 subscribers to I've got some that have like 200 subscribers. So I've got like the whole spectrum, right? From like 200 subscribers to like roughly 100,000. That is basically a dead channel that I don't upload to anymore. But like I've got the whole list, alright? So like, but I'm thinking of starting another football YouTube channel. Don't ask me what the other channels are. I'm not gonna tell you. Some of you may already know some of the others, but like I'm not gonna tell you. They're separate for a reason. I don't mention them for a reason, alright? But I'm thinking of starting another football YouTube channel. Just like, because obviously this one is a Bayern YouTube channel, because obviously I'm a Bayern fan. But because I watch so much other football, and that like ranges from everything from like Chinese league, I've watched a lot of Austrian second league and a third league recently. I just watch too much football. I really do. It's a bad thing, but it also is a good thing, I'd say. Some of you know that I'm trying to get into scouting. I've been trying to get into it, but then because of Corona, they were like, well, we only do online course, and if you do the online course, they don't, because like when you do the scouting course in the UK, at like the end, you actually get to meet with people at a club. People at a club will come in, and you get to talk to them, you get to learn from them, so on and so forth. And that's like the most valuable thing to me, learning from other people that are in the business, that aren't just like random Tom, Dick and Harrys, but actually like, First League, Premier League coaches, or Premier League scouts, or so on and so forth. But because of Corona, they were like, yeah, we can't do that. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to start my scouting course yet. I'm going to hold off until things are back to normal. Luckily in the UK, things are honestly starting to get back to normal. So like there might very well be a chance that I'm going to start that soon. But because I watch so much football and I try and analyze so much football, I'm going to do another YouTube channel. I don't know what it's going to be called yet. I will let you know in the description down below once, or maybe I'll actually talk about it because it is a related channel. But that will basically just be a football channel where I'm also talk about anything but Bayern, basically. Anything but Bayern, just like me just watching football in general and talking about football in general. But let me know what you think about that. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, 2-2, again, it's not the most dramatic result of all time. Because at the end of the day, it's one of those like, do I really care? No. Would I have liked us to win? Absolutely. Did I expect us to win? Absolutely. Did I expect us to concede? Absolutely. Did I expect we'd score? Absolutely. Did I expect them to score? Absolutely. I expected all of that. I didn't expect them to score the second goal. Nubel, honestly, really, really well performance. I'm not shocked by his performance because obviously I've seen him play. But like he did 2 saves in the second half that I was like, whoa, okay, those are important key saves, and I like to see that. For someone that's going to take over the mantle of Neuer, we don't know when that will be. Maybe it's going to be in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years' time. We don't know. But for someone that is touted to be that highly regarded and is honestly born to take over from Neuer, it's good to see that even in a meaningless game like this, he's able to step up. So that's nice. With all that said and all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, have I got anything else to say? Not really. I like Muller's pressing, but when do I not like Muller's pressing? I always like Muller's pressing. It's very good. Our midfield was quite lacking, honestly. But not much of a surprise, honestly. It has been lacking for quite a while, honestly. Which is difficult for me to say because I've been praising Kimmich all season, but you can definitely tell that Kimmich's level has dropped off dramatically. Alba, he wasn't that great either today. He was okay, not bad, just okay. But Kimmich, his level has dropped dramatically over the last month and a half, I'd say. He's had very good performances. Again, the 2 players that I've been very excited for this season have been Kimmich and Müller. Müller has been excellent. Kimmich has been very, very patchy. There's been times where he's looked absolutely amazing, and times where he just looks like a world beater, best midfielder in the world, which is what I've called him several times this season. And then other times he just looks so poor, and it's how are you so I wouldn't say inconsistent, but how are you so hot and cold? Why is there no middle ground? Why is there no Kimmich when he plays bad is just okay? Why is it you're either amazing or you're subpar? Which is crazy because the thing that I've always praised about Kimmich has been his consistency. And in the last 5 months in 2021, he's been very inconsistent. And the thing that I've said it, read my description, right? At the very bottom of my description, it says something stupid. People call it stupid. I'm being absolutely serious about it. It says, you know what? Screw it. I'll tell you exactly what it says, all right? I'll tell you exactly what it says. Let me just switch accounts here. This account. As I said, I've got 10 different YouTube channels, all right? So, if you're ever wondering why he... but yeah, it says in my descriptions, let's see. So I can actually read it to you verbatim. But it says, and I quote, I value consistency over top-level performances, which is why Philipp Lahm will always be greater than Zidane for me. That's the very last thing in each of my descriptions, right? Because I thought, okay, let me give a quote here of myself, people, just to see what how I think about football. And for me, consistency is the key thing, which is why Thomas Müller, when he's got a manager that trusts him, is always consistent. He's always at peak performance. And Kimmich was that as well. Now, Kimmich this year has been very disappointing. Not this season, this year in particular. He's had very good performances, but he's also had some very shocking performances. So just from that perspective, yeah, that's honestly my thoughts. That's honestly my thoughts on just like some of the players, the game itself. Yeah, with that out the way, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say. I will be seeing all of you in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out, and as always, bye.